Yo, what's going on YouTube? Hi guys, doing? We are back with another gameplay review and big shocker, another Ormond. I feel like every video that we do on this is Ormond. But anyway, we're doing another gameplay review. This is going to be the first time that we review a Twins game. They just came out semi-recently. I want to throw this out there because I'm doing this so early on with the Twins release. I'm going to be giving a lot of advice on how to play this killer, but this killer has only been out for like less than a week. So I'm going to be giving advice based on my experience thus far. And if you're watching this video in the future, maybe if this video is like a month old or maybe even a few weeks old, the information that I give in this video could change. The best way to play this killer could change, or things about this killer could change. So take that how you will. If you're watching this in the future, just keep that in mind. But, you know, for the sake of the current present, I should be able to help quite a bit based on what I see in this video. So let's get started and let's break down the build and everything right off the bat, because that's what we always do first. So right off the get-go, let's talk about your add-ons. You have the toy sword, which helps you decrease that decreases Victor's charge time for his pounce. And then this green add-on is like a scarf, and it makes Victor faster. So Victor goes faster and his charge speed is a little bit better. So these both buff Victor in like a nice way. These are probably both, I think Toy Sword might be their best add-on, to be honest, the gray, and the green one's definitely a solid one. So pretty good add-ons, I gotta say, like solid stuff. Your build is, I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of this combo, this figure 8 combo. I'm not a huge fan of this. You have Corrupt Intervention and you have Hex Ruin. And then you have Discordance and Barbecue. I mean, Barbecue is always good, plus blood points. I don't like this combination because Corrupt Intervention kind of gets the survivors moving, right? Like right now you have this generator blocked, this generator blocked, and there's probably a gen blocked over that way. So like if the survivors spawn over there, that means that they're going to start wandering around the map, right? If you don't have Corrupt Intervention, they'll just hop on gens right away. But like having Corrupt Intervention means they'll start wandering around the map, which gives them a better chance of finding Ruin. Now, if you add Undying instead of Discordance, then maybe that would make it okay. But I feel like there's a pretty good chance that you're going to lose your Ruin really early on. And I think Corrupt Intervention definitely doesn't help that. I think it makes it worse. So I don't like combining these. If I were you and I wanted to run another slowdown, I would either replace this with Pop Goes the Weasel, or I'd replace this with Sloppy Butcher, or even add like a third one, you know, instead of Discordance for like Sloppy Butcher, Undying, or, you know, something there. So I'm not a huge fan of the build, although it's not terrible. Discordance is really interesting. I don't think Discordance will work while you're playing as Victor, though. Like, I think if you're controlling Victor, I don't think you'll get the notifications, although I'm not sure. But I don't think it'll work. So that's kind of an interesting choice, too. But anyway, let's just see how this goes. This is the new Ormond, by the way. So we're no longer on the old painful Ormond. This is the much better, the much prettier, and the much overall better Ormond. I gotta say already, this is a bad play. I'm just gonna throw this out there already that this is a bad play, and let me explain why. So right off the bat, it doesn't matter what you do. You're running around with Victor. You should never lead with Victor like this. This is already a huge mistake. You're running around with Victor, and now like even when you do inevitably find somebody, watch what happens. You find this Claudette, and you're gonna chase her around, and you're gonna pounce her. You're gonna land the pounce? You land the pounce, but now what? Now you're so far away from her. Like, look, you come back and now you're like, all right, well, where the fuck did she go? And there goes your Ruin, which, like I said, I think stemmed from Corrupt Intervention. Because look at how many survivors were down on that side of the map. The Claudette was down there, the David was down there, whoever broke your totem might have spawned down here. Like, a bunch of people spawned down there and they had no gens to do because of Corrupt Intervention, so they were like, oh, well, fuck that, I'm gonna go across the map. And the dude probably went over there, found her totem, and now it's dead. I think had you not had Corrupt Intervention, I think there's a pretty good chance that your totem would have stayed up a little bit longer. But as played, your totem goes down right away. That was unfortunate. It looks like he kind of got stuck for a minute or something there. That was really awkward. Wow, that guy's laggy. He took forever to vault that window. But again, I don't think you should ever lead with Victor, because you kind of get into the situation like that. You should always injure someone before you release Victor. Like, this is better. The fact that you have an injured person, you have a blood trail to follow. Jump over it. Oh, he went too far. Oh, he's gonna kick you. No, he didn't kick you. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. All right. You're gonna play this game. She's injured. Yeah. You can. Yeah, the bug. Yeah, the bug. Right locker. Yep. Nice. Well played. There's currently a bug, if you guys don't know. Yeah, he's healing right behind it. This is kind of an awkward situation. I don't know if you can get that hit or not. You might not be able to get that hit. Yeah, that's an awkward one. I would just switch back to Charlotte. Yeah, you're right there. And then if he vaults it, you can then switch back to Victor. Switch back to Victor. Switch back to Victor. Victor's right there. Oh man, that's a misplay too. Okay, that's a misplay as well. Okay, so let's talk about this. If you guys don't know, there's currently a bug where when survivors are in lockers, you can pounce at the locker. Like if you pounce just dead center at the doors, it'll hit them through the locker. This is a bug, and as much as I want to say, like, don't abuse this bug, wag of the finger, don't you abuse this bug, I feel like everybody knows about it. And on top of that, if this bug didn't exist, then lockers would just be god tier against Victor. So, and the devs are adding a mechanic in the game soon where you can counterplay lockers with Victor. So this just, if anything, this bug feels more like a placeholder. A lot of people are arguing that it's not a bug because of something in the patch notes, but I'm pretty positive it is. But either way, smart of you to know this, and dumb of the Claudette. And it was also really good of you to be patient here. I noticed that you were kind of waiting and like keeping an eye on the blood to figure out which one like went away first, or maybe you were just indecisive, but that was a really good play. And then I thought you were gonna make a good play here too. When you switch back to Charlotte, like, you have this guy, dude. You got this guy. Like, Victor's right here and you're right here. When you switch back to Victor, you gain control immediately. It's not like Charlotte. When you switch back to Charlotte, you have like a 3-second like wake up period where you kind of like come back from being idle, and you have 3 seconds where you can't move. Not with Victor. When you switch to Victor, you can immediately pounce. So right here, you could have like walked right up and then just switched to Victor and then pounced at him. Like he even if he vaulted the pallet, you could have got him during the vault animation. Like, the thing that was keeping him safe this whole time was this thing. Like, the fact that he was able to hide behind that is what was keeping him safe. If you could have got him like while he was vaulting, you could have killed him for sure. So you kind of missed an opportunity here. And this would have been huge, by the way. Like, having both of these survivors down, like having that Claudette down right here, and then having this guy down right here would have been huge for your map pressure. Because you could have hooked the Claudette, and then David would have been down, and they would have had to come heal the David. That would have been like such a good early game start. Like, this was such a good potential for like stacked up map pressure that you kind of just gave up. Even right here, I don't even know about the decision to pick up this Claudette. Like, it might have been worth it to chase down the David and like not let him go. Especially considering he had been self-caring for a while. You're like, he was close to healing. Yeah, like, look, he just healed. Like, he was pretty close to healing. So chasing him down prevents him from healing too. So it might have been worth it, even outside of making the Victor play, it might have been worth it to like leave that guy slugged and chase down that David and make sure you get him down before he can heal. That way he loses the value of self-caring too. The scorance is going off. I'm really curious to see. Okay, how you should handle this is you should down the... Okay, you didn't really do anything. Okay, let me tell you how you should have handled this too. Okay, so you have information on everybody right now. There is currently a survivor in the basement on a hook. This survivor is on a hook. This survivor you just hit. She's right beside you. And discordance is going off, which means the last two survivors are on that generator. You have information right now about where every single person on the team is. I'm not really sure what you are doing. You were like looking around and like patrolling the basement to make sure that nobody was going into the basement, but like you didn't need to. You knew where everyone was. Like, you know for a fact 2 people are here. You know for a fact the Nia you just hits right there. So what you should have did is right now you should have used Victor. Wait, Victor's up top still. I mean, still, even with Victor being up top, you should have grabbed Victor, came down, tried to kill the Nia. If the Victor was on you, it would have been a lot better, but the fact that he's not still kind of sucks. But either way, you should either take Victor, or even without Victor, you should just chase this Nia, because both the other teammates are over here. So if they're going to go for the unhook, they have to run through you. Like, you're not going to miss them. You're not going to not see them. You can chase that Nia and just keep an eye out on them, and you're not going to miss them. Like, you come in here and you like patrol inside, but why? Like, you know where everyone is. You know that there's 2 people over there. Well, at least you should know anyway. You should know that. So you kind of just like let this Nia go, and she gets a ton of distance really for no reason. Like, you shouldn't have let her at all. And now you're kind of just wandering around doing nothing, like kind of just patrolling basement. Like, you knew where they were. They just popped that gen. There was 2 of them. This guy's running away. If I was you, I would hit this guy once and then go back to the hook, because you know they're going to be unhooking. That one guy was hovering it. He's like right there getting the unhook, and that looks like what you're doing, which is smart. You're getting some tracking on Victor. No, just hit the guy just hit the guys coming out of the basement. No, there's guys coming out of the basement. Man, what your decision making is so odd. Like, what was the point of this? Like, you hit this guy, and then you make the conscious decision to head back towards the basement. Like there's a guy in the basement right here, and you make the conscious decision to leave this guy. You're like, okay, I won't chase this guy, and I'll instead head back to the basement. They literally just unhooked. Like they just unhooked. So you were right. Like right here is the basement stairs. Right here is the stairs. These are stairs leading to the basement. There are 2 survivors that must come up these stairs. That is 2 free hits. And like, you get some tracking on Victor and you just leave. You just leave your free hits. Like you had 2 free hits and you just walk away and just let them leave. Like those guys in basement are probably so confused. They're like, hello? Why did you not kill me? Victor goes down. He finally despawns. So that's a good thing. You want Victor on you most of the time as opposed to just sitting around the map. That way you can take advantage of him. Man, that was, I gotta say, that whole last like 3 minutes, basically like most of the game, was a pretty major throw. Like you started out strong with downing that Claudette in the locker, and then man, you had so many opportunities to make plays there. Like any one of those plays could have been hugely impactful. And even here, I don't really like leading with Victor, because if you find somebody that's full health, good, you found someone that's injured. You should down this injured guy and then latch onto the guy that's full health. That's what you should try to do. You're aiming this a little too high. I know this is hard because you're on controller, but you're aiming this a little too high. Like you need to aim up a little bit, and you want to aim up slightly and then aim a little bit towards the right side, because the pallet's like this, right? So you want to aim towards this side a little bit, but only a little bit. You kind of go way too high. Like you put your camera like to like the very highest and then you jump over them. I kind of noticed you were doing that earlier too. You were doing that with that pallet upstairs too. That's something that you're gonna have to practice. It's gonna come with time. I would still be going for the injured guy here. I'd be going for the injured guy because this does nothing for you. You latch onto this guy and now you're fucking light years away, dude. You're miles away. This is why I think it's a bad idea to lead with Victor. I don't think you should ever be leading and just running across the map with Victor. Again, you happen to get kind of lucky that this Claudette runs right into you. But had this Claudette not run right into you, you would have had to just run the whole way across the map. You do a little fake pallet break there and she kind of falls for it. You try to double back, but she doesn't fall for that at all. You should be using Victor here. Once you see where she is again, I would just plop out Victor. She's injured. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, go chase her down. She's right here. Let's see if you can land your pounce. Well, okay, well. Oh, you missed it again. She's not gonna kick you though. You're charging your pounce way too early. All right, like I can't really talk about your aim. Like your aim, like I don't know how to coach people on having better aim. I think that just comes with practice, but I will say that you are charging your pounce so early. Victor is fast as fuck, dude. Victor is like 6.0 meters per second, which if you don't know, survivors are 4.0 meters per second. And like normal killers like Trapper, Wraith, Billy, or even Charlotte is 4.6. So like the normal, like normally the amount of meters per second that you have faster than survivors is literally 0.6. That's usually how much faster you are as killer. Victor is fucking 2.0. He's like literally over 3 times. He's got like 3 times the benefit of like your standard killer as far as how much faster he is than the survivors. He's very fast. So like when you're setting up for a pounce, you don't like you don't need to start your pounce like right. Like look at how far away she is. She's like the whole way around the corner. I don't know if maybe you were just trying to catch her off and like pounce over the pallet or whatever, but you can literally run right up against her. Like you can run and then get right on her ass. Like literally touch her booty. Like touch the booty cheeks. Don't start charging your pounce until you are touching the booty cheeks. Like you're starting your charge way too far away. Way too far away. And this Claudette could have kicked you like 8 times now. She just, I don't think she knows to kick you, because she could have kicked you like 100 times and she's just not doing it. Wait until you're closer. Like again, you're charging it so early. You're gonna die because you got stuck. Yep. If Victor jumps somewhere that's like a out of bounds place, he gets stuck. That was really bad right there. That was a huge game throw. The other 3 survivors have just been slamming gens this whole time, and you've just been dicking around with this Claudette and not catching her, which is very, 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 very not good. You down her, and you're gonna take her away. See, it's funny too, because this Claudette didn't even play as well as she could have too. Like, she could have killed Victor like 100 times and she just didn't. I mean, I guess maybe in the end it ended up benefiting her, because, like, no offense, but you're not, like, you're pretty bad at the Victor play, so it kind of maybe benefited her to keep you as Victor as opposed to making you go back to Charlotte. Good job when finding this David. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking and hiding in that corner, and then he just 1-for-1, so that's fine. That's a free hook. You could just rehook him immediately. That Claudette was dead on hook, right? I think that Claudette's not dead on hook, so that's good to know. They're definitely working on that gen. You see blood. I mean, you could just kill her. And Victor's stuck. Beautiful. Beautiful. Dead by daylight, by the way. Victor is stuck. Unfortunate. So in this situation, he'll time out after a while. Like this bar will slowly go down. It takes a minute. So in a minute, he'll respawn. But for the next minute, you're just going to have to be a 4.6 killer. Either that or they'll have to kick him. Like, they either have to kill him or he'll just respawn after a minute. And there's really not much else you can do about it. But anyway, you can go defend this gen as long as you don't switch back to him. If you accidentally switch back to him, it'll reset his timer. So you don't want to do that. Ah, man, even that, like, I'll just go ahead and say she was injured. This Nia is injured, and this Pallet is not very strong. This Pallet kind of sucks. Like, she's just sitting here. So she's obviously just looking for a stun. Like, she's just sitting under the Pallet, right? If anybody is ever doing this, if anybody is ever just sitting under the Pallet, you should always bait the drop. Walk up like a little bit and like make it look like you're gonna swing through the Pallet, and then just swing around the outside. And then while they're in the animation of dropping the Pallet, you get a head start going around, and then you can get a free hit. It works really well on these pallets it works on weak pallets anyway. Really strong pallets it doesn't work on, but weak pallets like this, it works really well on. And by weak pallets, I mean pallets that like don't have a big, like, this is not that big. Like the junk around the pallet is not, like, you can get around this very quickly. So that's kind of what I mean about weak pallets, like very small sided pallets. So you could have easily downed that Nia there. Like, you could have had it down so easily. She was sitting on a pallet that was really, really bad, and you could have easily made a play on, and you just didn't. Instead, you played like the most predictable way possible, which was just holding W, and then she got the free pallet stun, and then, you know, there you go. She's gone. This guy is doing some weird ass loop. Looks like you're gonna follow him. This would be a great time for Victor. It's a shame that he's bugged out, because everybody's injured, so this would be a really good time for him. I think you thought he was gonna vault again, so he backed up, but he didn't. Yeah, you should definitely go defend that gen. Yeah, there's at least 2 people on it, and a bunch of people are injured, so it's more than likely one of those guys are injured. Gonna head over. There's someone at the pallet. There's some blood right to your left. There you go, Claudette. She's dead on hook. Nice. You can kill her. You can kill her, and Victor's coming back soon too, so that's really good. Nothing too shabby. This Claudette making terrible plays. You'll love to see it. You're gonna hook her, meow, and not all you have left is all the boxes, dude. You got box, 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 and box, 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 box. Those are your last survivors. I think taking that time to kick that is, I don't love that, but I'm not gonna focus on it too much, because I think there's a lot of other things that are more important to focus on here. You definitely gotta. No, this is a really bad time to use Victor. What? He got stuck again? He got stuck again? What the fuck? Wow, that is really unlucky. Oh, she kicked him for you. That was really nice of her. That was either really nice of her, or she didn't know he was stuck and she just like wanted to kick him. I don't know which one it was, but either way, that was possibly really nice. Man, you like what the hell? What happens here? You like don't have the prompt and you think you do. For the record, I don't think you have to stop moving to release Victor. Like, you can keep holding W and spamming the button to release Victor, and whenever the prompt pops up, it'll just stop you automatically and do it. You keep like stopping in place and hitting the button. Like, you don't need to stop in place. You can just like hold the button down. Oh, she went for the kick. Okay, you can take your time here. Take your time. There you go. There you go. Good down. Although they finally got the gen done, so that's not good. Like, you run over and latch on. Good. Perfect. That was great. That's why you should always wait till somebody's injured. Like, that was good value out of Victor. That was great value out of Victor there. That's why you should always wait until someone's at least injured before you use Victor. You should never be using Victor when everyone's full health. That's a terrible, awful idea. Like, that is the #1 worst way to play this killer. And the #1 worst way to ever have, like, any kind of remote, like, time efficiency. That will screw you over every time. You're going to hook this Nia, but this game seems like it's all but over. I don't know what's going to happen in this end game. Maybe you can squeeze out one more kill. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. I guess it depends on what they do, too. What perks they have, whether they have borrowed time or what they're going to do. This that door's not being opened. The other one was, like, across the way, right? Kind of hard to see because, like, the quality isn't amazing. I don't know if I like this play or not, because if she has borrowed time, it's just going to bounce right off of her. I don't know if she has borrowed time or not, but if she does, your Victor's just going to bounce right off of her. You're like running right up. I mean, I like, see, you see how you're doing this though? Like, you see how you're waiting until you're right up against her to charge your pounce? That's what you should have been doing with the Claudette earlier. I like that you at least start doing that, because now you're in a much better chance to actually land a pounce. You could walk up to the, walk up to it. There you go. All right. You can even let go of the pounce and get closer again if you want. You go for a risky one instead. Like, you don't have to, like, commit to it, man. You can... Oh, you got that down. That works. I guess that works. I still think you should be getting closer. Like, the way that I play Victor and what seems to work really well is just get right on top of them. Like this. You see how close you are now? Like, it's so easy to hit now. You see that? You see how much easier it is to hit when you're, like, right up against them? That's what you should be doing. You should not be charging your pounce until you're very close to them. This guy can't leave with Victor on his back. Oh, he got it off in time, though. Unfortunate. Man, that's such a pointless mechanic. That is such a pointless mechanic. Like, look at how fast he got him off his back. Like, what's even the point of that if they can get him off that fast, you know? Seems rather dumb to me. This guy wants you to jump on him so he can get out. I don't know if you're going to try to make a play here, too, but it probably won't work on him either. It didn't work on the other guy. It probably won't work on him, but you can try. Again, they're not supposed to be able to leave with Victor on their back. Oh, is he going to kick you? Nope, he's not going to kick you. He's too slow. But now he's already out, so it doesn't really matter. Oh. I believe that man just kidnapped your brother. I believe he just kidnapped him. He's actually gone. Like, he's actually out of the map. You can't even control him. Like, he's literally attached to that guy, and you can't control him until the time runs out and you recall him. That's really awkward. It doesn't really matter, though, because this guy's full health, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Even if you add Victor, this guy's still getting out. I mean, I already know how this ends. Yep. Yep. And GG. Entity displeased. I was hoping we can see the ranks, but we don't actually see the rank. We see that you're rank 4, but we don't see the survivor ranks or anything, which is kind of a bummer. But what are you gonna do? I will say that there's definitely a lot here. There's definitely a lot of mistakes that was made. So I nitpicked like every little thing, but I think what I'm going to try to give you advice on, like, for instance, plays like this were big. Like, this was a chance to make a big play here. In this very early game, we're going to go way back to the beginning where you had the Claudette down and you had a David right beside the dude where you could have switched to the Victor and then killed him, right? Like, this had potential to be a really big play, because had you had both these survivors down, if you watch my other gameplay review videos, I'm sure I sound like a broken record right now, but getting multiple downs at the same time is how you get wins, man. That's how you win games. Being able to snowball map pressure and getting multiple people down, multiple people incapacitated, that gets both of the other two people off of gens because they have to go help the people because they're both dying, which means no gens get done, which gives you more time to keep killing people, and the more you kill people, people get off gens even more, and it's like a never-ending cycle. And it all starts by snowballing map pressure. All that, like, it starts the snowball that gets rolling, and it's so hard for the survivors to recover from, and it's such a big deal, and it's 100% how you win games as a killer. And it starts by getting multiple people incapacitated, and you had a perfect opportunity here. If you switch to this Victor, you could have killed him. So this was a big thing here, but also this also is pretty advanced. Like, I guess, like, I didn't really know what your level was as far as like killer skill, because I think you have like a lot more simple things to work on. Like, this was definitely an opportunity that you missed, but I gotta say, I think the biggest game throw was It was definitely here. It was 100% here. It was where you hit this Claudette and then you tried to follow up with Victor. And like the whole point of Victor is that he's supposed to be like insanely strong. Like when you're chasing someone with Victor, you should be able to get a hit on them pretty quickly. Like almost no matter where they are, you should be able to get a hit. He's super fast. He has a pounce. You're even running the add-on that makes your charged pounce up faster. Like the fact that like you started this chase, like you took control of Victor at like 4:38. When does this end even? 4:38, and then like it's like yeah, it's like almost a whole minute at that gen that you were, and then even after that, Victor dies and you have to like run her down. But this was definitely a major throw. I definitely think if you're going to keep playing twins, you really need to work on your Victor play, because this is 100% like what this killer is. I mean, this killer is 100% Victor. Like that is the power. That is what makes this killer strong. That's what makes this killer unique. Like outside of playing as Victor, you're just a regular 4.6 killer, and there's really nothing special about that. This is what makes the killer so powerful, is the ability to play as this little bastard who's super fucking fast and is really good at downing people. So like for instance here, it was another case of like you just charging your pounce way too early. Like get right up on top of her. Why are you charging your pounce here? Like look at how far away she is. She's like the whole way around the corner. Like what? Like why are you even charging it? You can't pounce her. Like you literally cannot pounce her here. There's a big ass rock in the way. Like why are you charging? You definitely should have waited. You charging this early like lets her lets her throw this pallet for free. Whereas if you waited a little bit longer, you could have jumped over the pallet as she threw it. I don't know if maybe that's what you were trying to do and you just timed it wrong. It kind of looks like maybe you were trying to do that and then you just timed it wrong. Right here, you kind of just like, that was actually a solid attempt right there. I think this is just like controller aiming, dude. Like aiming on a controller, like trying to keep track of someone that's in your face who's going like blah 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 blah. You know, it's fucking hard, dude. It's hard with a controller. That shit is very hard. Like medium range tracking is really easy, but like super close range tracking is like fucking impossible with a controller, man. It's so hard. That's why killers like Nurse are so hard with controller. It's just very difficult. So like I don't blame you for this, but also like this was definitely a good attempt. Like you at least charged your pounce while you were right beside her. You aimed in her general direction, even though it wasn't good aim. You know, you at least gave a good effort like that. I don't think you did anything wrong aside from aiming badly. But like aiming badly is not really like a like right here. Like what? Like why are you charging it here? Like. You're making decision mistakes right now as opposed to like aiming mistakes. Like I can't really help you with your aim, but I can help you with your decisions. And like this is really bad. Like why charge pounce there? She's like so far away. Again, you got kind of lucky right there that she randomly like ran at you for no, I don't know what the fuck she was doing. I don't know why she ran at you, which was really dumb of her. But even then you miss. And again, like right here, that one wasn't too bad, but then you weren't quite at a good angle to get that. I will give you advice about this too. When you're trying to jump over pallets, you got to back up a little bit. You're too close here. You're too close. What you want to do is you want to back up. Like say like this is the pallet, right? Say like this is the pallet that's thrown, and right here's a survivor who's like they're probably teabagging you too, right? Because that's what they do. And you're the Victor, right? You're like right here. You're real tiny, and you're Victor. You want to back up a little bit. Like you want to back up and be like you want to be at least a little bit further back than you are now. And you want to aim like, say like this is the highest you can aim and this is the lowest you can aim, right? You want to aim like right there, like a little bit above, like maybe like 50%. Like you don't like, I feel like usually when you're like in the other parts of this review, whenever you try to jump over pallets, you usually do like the highest. You aim like the highest you can go, which then makes you jump over them, which I feel like is why here you try to not aim super high. But you were just way too close. Like you can't get over the pallet when you're that close. You need to back up, because like Victor, when he jumps, it's not like when Victor leaps, it's not like that, you know, like he's not a mortar. He's not a mortar that shoots. When he jumps, it's like that, you know? So if the pallet's right here, you don't go over it. But if the pallet's right here, then you do go over it. You know what I mean? Because like you're higher in the jump here than you are here. You know what I mean? So like you want to back up so that the pallet is in a position where you're higher in your leap as opposed to like lower in your leap. You know what I mean? So that was the mistake you made there. And that's definitely an important thing to keep in mind. Again, you could have been even closer there. Like, that was a better attempt than before, but you could still be closer. Like, you can be right up against them. Like, you're still giving her a little... It might not seem like much, but you're giving her a little bit of distance here, and you don't need to. You don't need to give her a little bit of distance. You can get, like, see how much distance she still has? Right there, you charge it. Like, she still has, like, a decent bit of distance. I mean, it's not much. It's like 2 meters, but still. Just get right on her. Like, literally touch her butt. Get up there and squeeze the cheeks, you know, before you start charging, because it gives her enough distance that you have to try to take these weird ass funky angles, and then you end up bouncing off of shit, and then you can't hit it. And right here again, you're going for like these fancy like over the pallet hits. Like, you don't need to go for these like fancy over the pallet hits when you could just get right up against her. Like, no matter what, if you get right up against them and charge your pounce, they can't do anything. Like, no matter what, they can't do anything. So that ended up taking you literally forever. Like, that took you fucking forever. And then you ended up just downing her with a basic M1 anyway. So, like, I don't know. That took so long. I definitely think that your major mistake is just your Victor play. I think you need to work on not charging your pounce until you're, like, right up against the survivor. Don't give them, like, any kind of a distance to work with. Like, if you find that them being too close messes you up, then get really close to them and then back up after your charge, right? Like, if you get really close to them and they're doing the thing where they're like juking this way, then juking that way, then juking this way, and you're like, oh God, my brain can't keep up. Like if that happens, then literally just take a couple steps backwards and then vault. Well, then pounce, right? But don't give them the distance right away. Like, get right up on them and then charge your pounce. They'll either A, keep running away, which, you know, in which case you could just leap at them, or B, they'll start juking, in which case you can back up and take your time, you know, take all the time you fucking need, and then get a free hit for, you know, 100%. So that's a huge thing that you got to work on. I also want to say, first off, it's very unfortunate that Victor gets stuck twice. Like, the fact that Victor gets stuck twice is really fucking unlucky. Like, the second time they kicked him, but the first time, I mean, that's just unlucky. There's not really much to say about that. Like, that's just unfortunate. But I will say, you definitely did make the mistake multiple times of using Victor while no one was injured. Like, this right here, like, starting off the game like this is really bad. I know I already explained this, but allow me to explain again. I'm only going to show this one time. You did this another time throughout the video too, but I won't go back to it. But I'm just going to throw this out there. If all the survivors are full health, it is not good to use Victor. It is not good. That is a big no. Because what you're doing is you're leaving Charlotte in the middle of the map, and then you're running around with Victor. And then it, like, so basically, here, let me, like, basically explain it with, like, a picture. I have this drawn tool. I might as well use it. You're going AFK with Charlotte right here. You're with Victor. You're running the whole way over here, and then you're getting a hit on the survivor, right? We'll say this O is a survivor. You hit that survivor once. Now, if you just stayed as Charlotte, you would be right here, and you would be able to follow up that hit with another hit immediately because you're right on top of her. But because you did it as Victor, that means it teleports you back to Charlotte, and then you got to run that distance again, and probably even further because she's going to start running away, right? Like you basically have to run the distance from wherever Charlotte was to the survivor twice, which is a big deal. Like running this amount of distance twice is huge. It's a big fucking deal, man. And especially because, again, like, the survivor gets a chance to get away. Again, you got really lucky in this early game that you did that, and then this dude happens to just, like, stroll in front of you. Like, oh, hey, what's going on in here? Herp, derp, derp. Like, if that guy didn't randomly stroll in front of you, then you would have had nobody. You would have had to have went and tried to find that Claudette who could have been fucking anywhere by now. And it would have been, like, a big-ass problem, you know? So that's a major thing. Don't ever lead with Victor. You should never be using Victor until at least one person's injured. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to run around with Charlotte, get at least one hit, sometimes maybe even 2 hits, and then try to use Victor when you're in a position where you can down an injured person and then also know where a full health person is. Ideally, every time you use Victor, you would like to get at least one down on an injured person, and then at least one. You can get multiple. If multiple people are injured, you can get multiple downs, right? And then latch on to a full health guy. Like that's how it should go. Like in this scenario, it wouldn't be crazy to use Victor to down David and then latch onto someone full health, hook the David while the full health guy is like removing Victor, and then kind of like rinse repeat with this guy, like down him with Victor, latch onto somebody else, you know, and then everybody will slowly get injured, and then when there's multiple people injured, you could just down multiple people with Victor, right? And then, you know, then you're snowballing like crazy. That's how you want to do it. It really helps you with like your like time efficiency. It helps you like get that pressure. It really cuts off a lot of like the downtime that you would normally spend just running around the map and trying to catch up with the person that Victor latched onto. That's a huge thing when it comes to playing the twins. It's a huge thing. It's a really easy mistake to make, and I see a lot of like newer players, especially new players to the twins, making it, and I don't think they even really realize how big of a mistake it is, but that's a huge thing too. So those are my 2 big pieces of advice to you. I definitely think there's more plays you can explore in the future, but I think for now you need to just focus on only using Victor when at least one person's injured, and not charging your dash until you're directly on top of the survivor. Those are the 2 things that you need to do going forward. So practice that, give it some more tries, and keep practicing, and you'll get there. You'll get there. This was definitely a rough game. But rough games happen, man. That's DBD for you, you know? All right, I think that's basically all I got to say about this video, guys. I don't think I'm going to say anything else without going back and forth and just going in circles. So hopefully that was good enough. Hopefully that's enough to teach you guys a thing or two. I would love to review more twins games. These guys are really interesting, and I feel like there's a lot more advanced stuff I can dive into that I didn't really want to in this video because, again, I feel like the person playing this killer needs to work on some of the more basic fundamental stuff before we get into the more deep stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys learned a thing or two about the twins and how to play them. And yeah, if you guys want to submit your own footage, by the way, we have a channel in Discord you can join. Is linked below in the description. We have a channel called Gameplay Review Submissions where you can submit your games. Please read the pins on Discord. It has like guidelines about what we expect for our submissions. If you don't follow the guidelines, we'll just remove your video, so please take a look at it. Feel free to submit though if you guys want to submit something for your own gameplay review. Sub to the channel as well because I'm uploading literally daily. Like the video because it helps with the algorithm. And thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your night. I'm getting out of here. See ya. Take care. See ya. I'm out of here. See ya. See ya later. See ya.